At 2:19 a.m., while it was still dark, we started for Tadoba. It was peak May, so we knew the heat would be intense. But for a family adventure and the thrill of the jungle, it felt like a fair trade.
Hooray, we came!
Yay!
Yay, yay! For sea tigers.
So we reached around 10:30 in the morning, and the moment we entered through the main gate and took the road towards Moharli, that's one of our absolute favorite stretches. We got that feeling all over again. It's one of those roads that somehow strikes a rare balance between familiarity and novelty. So every drive feels a little different from the previous one. After that, we checked into Camp Sarai, one of our favorite places to stay in Tadoba. It's close to most of the safari gates, and what makes it even more special is that just a fence separates the resort from the jungle. So you are never far away from the sights and sounds of the wild, and it truly feels like you're living in the forest's edge.
मॉर्निंग में सर कॉलर वाली भी 300 रुपये मिली थी कॉलर वाली भी मिली थी
And then there's Vikas, our favorite guide. And honestly, every safari feels better with him. His ability to pick up the faintest alarm call, spot the slightest movement, and read the forest with such precision is incredible. His knowledge doesn't just help you spot wildlife, it changes the way you experience the forest.
Want to take? I think there is something up ahead.
Not long after we entered the jungle, we had our first sighting. Two subadals of the tiger's collar value. With the unforgiving May heat at its peak, these two found the perfect way to cool off. One was completely immersed in the water, while the other seemed to be thoroughly enjoying a mud spa. Further ahead, we came across an injured sambar deer. The wild can be breathtaking, but it can also be unforgiving, where survival comes at a cost.
Oh, it had something in its mouth.
A little later, we were lucky enough to spot a slot bear, always a special sighting in Tadoba. It kept hiding from us almost as if it was playing hide and seek. And unlike most bear sightings, this one wasn't over in seconds. We were able to watch it for quite a while before it quietly wandered back into the forest.
It was a close one, huh? I was looking at us only.
And that's how we wrapped up our first safari. We were also lucky to spot the tiger moving, but couldn't capture some good shots of him. And honestly, some moments are just better experienced than captured.
Good morning. हम आए हैं नैनतारा को देखने नैनतारा ना
As we entered Nimdela, we learned that we had missed the tiger Trishul by just a few minutes. He had been resting right by the roadside before quietly disappearing deeper into the forest. It was a little disappointing, but that's the unpredictability of the wild. However, after a while, we heard the frantic alarm calls of a langur perched high up in a tree. Our guide immediately knew that there was something nearby, and sure enough, just moments later, there was definitely an intense ferocity in the leopard's stare, and looking at it definitely took some nerve. While we stopped to have breakfast in the jungle, we spotted a chameleon. Moments like these remind us that in our search for tigers and leopards, we often overlook the quieter wonders of the forest.
And this is Mummy, that is Nonu, that is Haru. Nothing.
Our third safari brought yet another incredible sighting. Choti Madhu's daughter. She was resting in a secluded spot. And we were lucky enough to watch her emerge after a long nap. Nearby lay her kill, a massive Indian gaur. We could catch glimpses of it through the bushes, but it remained hidden from the camera. Every now and then, the pungent smell from the kill drifted towards us. After cooling off in the water for a while, she walked back to her kill and settled in for a well deserved feast. After her satisfying meal, she gave us quite a roadshow. As she walked, she stopped every now and then to scent mark her territory, a quiet reminder that this was her domain, and that head on encounter with her effortless confidence was simply breathtaking. She stayed with us for quite a while before finally disappearing deep into the forest. It was one of those sightings you never wanted to end. Just when we thought the day couldn't get any better, we spotted Collarwali sitting gracefully in the middle of the grassland. We were lucky enough to enjoy a long, uninterrupted sighting as we watched her, completely captivated. A herd of Indian goats were grazing nearby, and from the way she was watching them, it almost seemed as though she was sizing up a situation and considering a hunt. Unfortunately, our safari had come to an end, so we had to leave her there and head back, wondering how the story unfolded after we left.
Did you like the sighting today? Yes. How was the safari?
This is my third safari and this
Choti Madhu. Did you like the sighting? Yes. Did you click some good pictures?
And that marked the end of our Junona safari. But the journey wasn't over just yet. The next morning, just before our final safari, we heard the alarm calls of a sambar deer right behind our room. We were running late for our safari, so couldn't climb the machan. But those calls almost certainly meant a tiger was somewhere near the resort. Our final safari It reminded us of what the jungle truly is, a home. A home to these countless animals. Experiences like these leave us deeply humble. As visitors, our role isn't to disturb or demand a sighting, but to admire them from a distance, respect their space, and live with gratitude for simply being allowed into their world. And with that, our Tadoba adventure came to a close.